We hear about it almost every day. Somewhere, something bad has happened in a workplace. An employee has been shot by an angry coworker or an estranged spouse. A bomb has been set off and people have been injured. A truckload of valuable product is missing. Or a company's computer system has been hacked and the credit card information of millions of customers has been stolen. These things don't just happen somewhere else. They can occur in our own city or town, even our own company. But having a good workplace security program in place can often prevent these situations from occurring. In this course, we will discuss the importance of workplace security, how to identify vulnerabilities in your facility, and the types of policies and procedures that need to be included in your workplace security program. The first step in creating and implementing a workplace security program is to form a plan. To do that, you will need to assemble a team that will work to identify the types of security issues your facility may face and what can be done to protect the company from harm. The team should include people from all of the company's operating departments. If possible, local law enforcement personnel should be included as well. Having multiple perspectives regarding what is of value in your facility and where your facility's vulnerabilities are is important, and law enforcement can provide an outside view as well as insights based on what they have seen at other facilities in the area. Once your team is assembled, the first thing that they should do is to create 3 lists. The first list should catalog anything of value that someone might want to steal from your facility. The second list should identify your facility's points of vulnerability that could open the door for an unlawful entry. The third list should contain any type of security issue that your facility could be subject to, such as potential perpetrators of domestic violence, or disgruntled customers or employees looking to harm someone, terrorism either by foreign or domestic groups, the possibility of purposeful product contamination or other sabotage, data breaches that could result in stolen data or ransom demands, and theft. Of course, all of this is influenced by the type of business that you're in. For example, a jewelry store will need to pay particular attention to their merchandise, including how easy it is for someone to get their hands on it. And a bank has the same type of concern regarding its product, the money that is on site. Whereas hospitals and other medical facilities must not only guard materials that are used there, such as drugs, but also their staff and patients who might be subject to an attack. Manufacturing locations may have valuable raw materials or high-priced finished products. And warehouses can contain all types of desirable merchandise. Your facility's normal entrances are an obvious vulnerability, but not necessarily the only location issue. There could well be other ways someone could gain access, such as through loading docks, fire exits, or even windows. And if employees work outside the facility or in isolated areas, they could be at risk as well. The more security issues and vulnerabilities your team can identify, the more successful your company's security plan will be. How you control access to your facility is one of the most important aspects of your security plan. Restricting access goes a long way toward preventing theft and property damage, isolating sensitive work areas, and most importantly, protecting employees from harm. Physical security addresses all of these things, often by using some type of protective barrier. So it's imperative that your company determine which types of barriers are already in place, if any upgrades are required, and what additional measures may be needed. For almost all facilities, doors are the primary security measure for controlling access and prohibiting unauthorized entry. As well as being visually pleasing, the solid glass doors that are used in many entrances offer a clear view of anyone who approaches or enters your building. But they can also be vulnerable to being smashed. Changing the glass in entryways and windows to security glass or adding strengthening film to current glass can fortify these access points. Other exterior doors that are out of plain sight or lead to areas where large quantities of raw materials or finished goods are stored may need to be beefed up as well. You might want to install more secure doors in places such as telephone and server closets, utility rooms, and designated safe rooms as well. Steel and solid wood doors are especially suited to protecting a workplace. Unlike hollow wooden doors, they won't crack and they can be more difficult to break down. Many steel doors are also drill-proof, chemical-resistant, bulletproof, and fire-resistant, which helps to protect against break-ins and arson. But strong doors by themselves are only half the answer. They won't stop unwanted entry to your building if they have faulty or easily manipulated locks. For years, traditional locks and keys were the standards for workplace security. But most keyed locks can easily be picked or drilled out, and lost or stolen keys can be copied. At the least, this can result in costly lock replacements. At worst, it can lead to an unauthorized entry, which is why many facilities have gone to key card or keypad systems. These systems provide a higher level of security than traditional locks since they can't be picked. And if a key card is lost or keypad codes are stolen, the locks can be quickly turned off or reprogrammed. While it may take some time to sort through all of your physical security options, with some effort you should be able to determine what will work best for your company and its security needs. People often think physical security mainly consists of physical barriers, but strong doors, locks, and bulletproof glass are not the only forms of physical security that can be used in a workplace. These days, facilities are supplementing traditional physical security measures with increased exterior lighting, surveillance systems, and alarms. According to the U.S. Department of Justice, the third most common place for crimes to occur is a parking lot. And this is not just theft and vandalism. Nearly 1,400 violent crimes like assault and robbery are committed in parking lots each day. So keeping your parking lots and entryways well lit during early morning and evening hours is vital to the safety and security of your employees. At the very least, all of your building's exterior lighting should be checked to verify that it is functioning properly. Any needed repair should be scheduled immediately, and new lights should be installed in any areas that need it. If your workplace is like most, it is typically vacant at night, which makes it more likely to be burglarized then than during daytime working hours. Adding both indoor and outdoor surveillance cameras to your building and posting signs as to their existence can act as a deterrent, as well as aid law enforcement in their investigations. There are also a variety of alarms that can help to defend your facility against all types of security risks. Intrusion alarms can discourage unlawful entry by letting burglars know that they have been noticed, as well as notify local law enforcement that a break-in is occurring at your building. Employee-activated duress alarms, like the systems used in banks, can help to prevent violence in your facility by silently calling for help during robberies or active shooter incidents. Many of these alarms can be integrated into your building's fire control system, door access controls, and surveillance cameras. And tech-based systems can include apps or other software that allow you to monitor things from devices such as tablets and smartphones. In business today, it seems like you can accomplish almost anything with technology. Thanks to computers and the internet, your company can communicate with customers and business partners around the world via email and video conferencing, manage payroll, expenses, and payments with online banking, keep an accurate inventory of products, train and educate employees with online learning courses, and much more. While this technology opens up a whole new world of opportunities for your business, it can also leave you open to the threat of cybercrimes. Thieves are no longer just interested in stealing your company's physical assets. They want all types of your digital information as well, from customer data to banking records. Although cybersecurity can be a very large and complex topic, there are 3 easy-to-follow guidelines that can go a long way toward helping to protect your company's digital information. Use strong passwords. Don't open suspicious emails, attachments, or links. And never use public Wi-Fi without a virtual private network (VPN). Let's look at each of these in more detail. Using strong passwords is one of the simplest yet most effective forms of cybersecurity. Passwords should be at least 16 characters long and include upper and lowercase letters, numbers, and symbols. The more complex and random the password is, the more difficult it will be for hackers to crack. You should avoid using children's names, birthdays, pets' names, or other personal information for your password. Hackers will often search your social media pages or company bios to find and try those. Using sequential numbers or letters in your password is also a no-no. When hackers are trying to determine password patterns, they often key in sequential numbers and letters first. You should also create a different password for every computer or account that you access. If a hacker does manage to steal one of your passwords, they will quickly test it on all of your accounts to see what it will unlock. And if you really want to stay ahead of cyber criminals, you should change your passwords every month. Even if you create very secure passwords, you aren't out of the cybersecurity woods yet. You also have to watch out for phishing. Phishing occurs when cyber criminals impersonate the email account of a source that you trust, such as a friend, coworker, or customer. Using this look-alike address, they will send an email containing attachments or links that release computer viruses. There are some quick checks you can use to help determine if an email might be harmful. Does the email contain spelling errors or oddly worded phrases? Is the sender requesting confidential information, such as a credit card or social security number? Does the email read, "Here is that file you wanted," even though you never requested one? It's likely that the attachment contains a virus or worse. Does the email ask you to click on an embedded website or other link? That link could take you to a site that allows a hacker to gain access to your computer. The best way to deal with a questionable email is not to open it at all. If you think it might be legitimate, call the sender. If it is a potential hack, your call will also alert them to a potential attack on their own account. The communication systems that you use with your computer can present their own risks. If you're working at home, a hotel, or a coffee shop, your personal router or public Wi-Fi may not be secure enough to prevent hackers from accessing your accounts. One way to guard against this is to use a virtual private network, VPN. This will provide an encrypted connection between your location and your company's computer network. Using VPNs will allow you to safely and securely share information from anywhere you are. Strengthening your physical and cybersecurity can help to prevent intruders from gaining access to your facility and company data. But what can you do if someone does make it through the door? The place to start is by stationing an employee in your reception area. This not only creates a psychological barrier for anyone who approaches, it also helps prevent visitors from going further into the building on their own. When someone enters, the receptionist should ask them to sign into a physical or digital logbook. The visitor should provide their name, the reason for their visit, the name of the person they are there to see, and note the date and time. For scheduled visits, the visitor should then be issued a badge. The person they have come to see should be notified of their arrival, and the receptionist should wait with the visitor until someone arrives to escort them to their destination. If the visitor doesn't have an appointment, the person they want to see should be called to determine if they want to go ahead and meet. You should never allow visitors to wander around your building unaccompanied. If there are multiple visitors at the same time, the receptionist should ask other staff members for help. The front desk should never be left unattended while a visitor is escorted to their destination, and a visitor should never be left unsupervised. If a backup person is unavailable, the front door should be locked, and someone should monitor the entrance or listen for the doorbell. Enforcing a policy that designates your main entrance as the only access point for both employees and visitors can help reduce the risk of unauthorized entry as well. Employees should be told that if they violate the company's entrance policy, they will receive a warning, and that repeated violations will result in further disciplinary action. Other exterior doors should not be operable from the outside and have evacuation bars inside. If a door needs to be left opened or can't be closed due to a faulty lock, it should never be left unattended. If key cards, codes, or physical keys are lost or stolen, this should be reported to your department supervisor immediately, so they can quickly deactivate the cards, reprogram codes, or replace the locks and issue new keys. Making sure that security devices are working properly is also important. At least once a month, department supervisors should inspect all locks or key devices in their area for damage. In the event a visitor somehow does gain access through an exterior door, someone should approach them from a safe distance and ask them to leave immediately or come to the main entrance to log in. If there are any concerns about the visitor's intentions, they should be followed from a safe distance to confirm their exit while someone calls the authorities. There was a time when it seemed like violence only occurred in businesses that handle cash, like banks and convenience stores, or places that served alcohol, such as bars and nightclubs. Today, the sad truth is that violence can occur in any workplace for a variety of reasons, and planning for how to deal with an incident should be part of every facility's security plan. There are a number of things your company can do to effectively deal with workplace violence and help to minimize harm if it does occur, such as making sure all employees understand the run, hide, fight principle. Run away from the violence if possible. If you can't escape, hide. Only fight as a last resort. Developing communication techniques that employees can use to alert each other of potential incidents. Establishing evacuation routes for safely and quickly exiting the facility. And setting up secure rooms or areas where any employees who are unable to evacuate the building can safely wait until the event is over and everything is secure. If a workplace violence event appears to be developing, employees and the authorities need to know about it immediately. Having emergency communication methods in place can help people to alert each other to the possible danger and take swift action. A phone tree arrangement can quickly and effectively get a brief emergency message out to everyone in your facility. Text messages are often best since they are silent and don't run the risk of being heard by perpetrators. There should be a primary point person in each department whose responsibility is to notify several other designated co-workers of the emergency situation. These other employees then alert the rest of the department of the situation. Additionally, an emergency contact list for local police, fire, and ambulance groups should be posted at every desk, workspace, and common area in your building, so that anyone in the facility can contact the authorities if necessary. For rapid dialing, emergency numbers should be preset on internal phones, and employees should add them to their cell phones as well. When a workplace violence event seems unavoidable, everyone should vacate the building ASAP. This is where clearly defined evacuation routes will help people make an organized and quick exit. Using your building's floor plans, maps should be created with arrows that clearly show the nearest evacuation routes and exits for each area, as well as exterior meeting places where employees should gather. In addition to being posted in each work area, every employee should be provided with a copy of their map so they can familiarize themselves with their evacuation routes, exits, and meeting places. If someone is unable to exit the building, they should immediately take shelter in a safe room or area until the threat is over and the building is declared secure by the authorities. If your building doesn't currently include any safe areas, employees should use a windowless room with a sturdy, solid core or steel door. If a windowless room is unavailable, the windows of the room should be covered if possible. Employees should get low to the ground and hide somewhere that is away from the windows and doors. As we've seen, in today's world, workplace security involves a lot more than just turning off the lights and locking the doors. Let's review. The first step in creating a workplace security program is to form a plan. The key to any security program is identifying a facility's security issues and vulnerabilities. Controlling access to your facility is one of the most important aspects of your security plan. Safeguarding your company's information can be as vital as safeguarding your facility. Even if your facility is physically secure, it's important to monitor potential access points and visitors. Employees need to be trained regarding what to do if a workplace violence event occurs and where and how to evacuate the facility. While workplace security is more complex today than it ever used to be, you can help your company implement a comprehensive workplace security program so that you and your coworkers can go home safe at the end of every day.